It's time for the Proseed Halftime Report. If you need seed, then think Proseed. With us today, the new district sales manager out of Devils Lake, Everett Ritterman. Great to have you here, sir. Welcome to Proseed. Talk about what your role is now as the new DSM up there.
Yes, thanks for having me here, Chris. I've been added to the existing territory there to help support the dealers as well as expand and grow the area up there too. So Proseed has had a strong positive presence up there and looking to make it better.
Thinking about a strong positive presence. I know your guys' product are doing some great things for the farmers. Just talk about what you're seeing as far as yields and with the harvest now taking place.
Yes, with the lack of rain through the growing season, the yields have been very surprising. Proseed's products has been hitting the top of the charts, and we've been having some excellent performance in our variety trials as well as the grower fields, and they have been reporting very good outcomes.
Nice. That's obviously where you step in, get to help the farmers pick the right varieties and maximize what they're doing with putting seed in the ground. Let's talk about this. You guys doing great things for our armed services, the men and women that serve this country with the Right Stuff program. What exactly is that all about?
Well, the Right Stuff program is designed to thank past and current veterans that are in production agriculture. And just a little something we want to give out to say thank you and show our support for the men and women in the military.
Thank God for that. The other thing I love you guys are doing, you got the DeWalt tools with the Right Choice program. So if people buy from you, pick up some really nice tools. Tell us more about that.
Yes, this year we're featuring DeWalt tools for the Right Choice program, and there's different levels of qualifications to get different tools, and just another way to give back and say thanks to our farmers.
Great stuff, man. Thank you so much for being here. Again, welcome to the Proseed team.
Thank you.
Doing a great job for our farmers out there. If you want more information, check out Proseed.net, and be sure and stay with us. Much more coming up right here on the Proseed Halftime Report.
That is a live look at not a snow globe, but
the halftime performance at Illinois State.
It's a good thing they're in red, because I don't think you'd be able to see them if they were wearing white jackets out there. That is unbelievable what is going on in Normal, Illinois right now.
And the bad news?
Yeah, here's the bad news. Let's take a look at the radar. See all that blue and white? And again, I'm not a meteorologist, but that's not good colors.
There are still things coming towards normal, and that is not good for our cameras, for the football
anybody
game.
There. Yeah, it's not going to be a fun one to finish this one out.
I'm going to make a prediction that by the end of the third quarter, the only people left in those stands will be Bison football fans.
They got
nowhere else to go.
Nowhere else to go. Maybe back to the hotel.
And Bison fans would not give up.
They would not. They certainly would not. We are a tough breed up here in North Dakota,
yes.
And certainly they brought their toughness with them to Normal, Illinois. 0-0 at the end of one half of play.
Certainly not what I was expecting, but at the same time,
and given what the conditions are.
Conditions.
Not so great.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at how we got to where we are. We pretty much are where we started.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was a miserable start out there. We thought that was as bad as it could get.
Boy, how wrong we were. Did you see how miserable Coach Kleiman looked running out there?
Yeah, well, the wind and the rain coming straight into NDSU's face. Easton Stick making a throw to Dallas Freeman anyway.
The Bison doing a very good job on this opening drive. You heard Coach Kleiman say right there at the end of the half, we had a couple good drives. We just didn't capitalize on them, and that's kind of what the story of this game is.
I think none better than this here, the first drive for NDSU. Bruce Anderson getting in there, and now Ty Brooks making a break as well.
Took nearly 6.5 minutes off the clock on this first drive for NDSU, but they just couldn't get it done, and this hurts.
Yeah, Easton Stick getting sacked. He's trying to make something happen, but gets taken down. Bison will have to punt it away. But you know what? NDSU's defense is stepping up big here, 3 and out with against Illinois State.
Jake Colby getting the start. We weren't sure if it was going to be Malachi Broadnax. We've seen both of them play quarterback.
We've seen 4 quarterbacks, technically.
Yeah, if you throw in those running backs that have taken snaps directly from the center. Jake Colby not faring well in this. He's actually 0 for 3 on pass attempts for, you guessed it, 0 yards. Be pretty impressive if you had a yard with no completion.
Yeah. All right, well, Bison fans, the faithful out there, a shining spot in the second quarter. Not very many highlights in this one, but Jackson Coons with a heck of a punt.
Yeah, punting with the wind here, and that's not easy to do when you're punting with the wind, because you kind of just put the ball up there and hope that you don't blow it into the end zone. And yeah, celebrate, young man. That's a good punt there. Coach Kleiman talked in the pregame show about the hidden yards, and definitely the field position is the hidden yards that he's trying to that he's talking about there, rather. Oh my goodness. Just not a great
this is a tough one. And just we've gotten a couple phone calls. We see you on social media. Thank you for tagging us. But we are aware that the conditions aren't perfect out there. I promise you, though, as photographers, we shoot our own stuff. No one is more angry than this man right here, that up top camera, fighting these conditions. We put together a little bit of this quick progression of what it's like out there, fighting wind, rain, now snow, and you know it's cold.
And that was just like 15 minutes. I mean, it started there 15 minutes, you know, second quarter, everything was fine. It was just raining and windy. And then all of a sudden, it's become a full-on blizzard out there in Normal, Illinois. I mean, this is a 20-second video, but honestly, it's about 15 minutes of total elapsed time. That first half only took an hour of actual time to play 30 minutes of football. Let's take a look at our first half stats brought to you by the North Dakota Certified Seed Producers. And there's not many to talk about here in terms of stats. Obviously, the score 0-0. Total yards, tough to come by. Again, Illinois State with no passing yards. Easton Stick has been sacked a few times, so that kind of hurts the rushing numbers for the Bison. He's been sacked for a loss of 20 yards. So the Bison, they've actually gotten up over the 100-yard marker, but it is tough sledding out there. And you heard Coach Klieman say it might be the first one to score that wins here.
Yeah, breaking no records in this one, to say the least, on offensive production. But you know what? NDSU has done the most important thing, and that's hold on to the football.
Yes.
That is the most important thing in a situation like this. I know the anxiety is there for a lot of us that remember 2010 Eastern Washington. This looks awfully familiar, that snow-covered field. How are you going to handle it? You have to hold on to that football. And we'll talk more about that coming up.
Again, those stats brought to you by the North Dakota Certified Seed Producers. We'll step aside, take you around the valley. Some big games happening out there today. It is snowing in Normal. We are 0-0 as we continue on here, the Pro Seed Halftime Report. Welcome back to the Pro Seed Halftime Report in our Fargo studios. 0-0, our halftime score between North Dakota State and Illinois State. Let's take a look around the valley. Action going on as we speak. Youngstown State with a 24-3 lead. That game just into the fourth quarter. Youngstown jumped out to a 24-0 lead. Missouri State scored 3 in the third quarter. Southern Illinois and Western Illinois just underway in Macomb. 0-0 there. Western playing for a shot at the playoffs. Southern won't be in consideration for the selection show tomorrow. It's still to come today. South Dakota State at South Dakota. There's a big one going down in Vermillion. The Jacks coming off a win over Illinois State. South Dakota trying to rebound after a loss here last week in Fargo to the Bison. And winless Indiana State taking on Northern Iowa at Northern Iowa in the Unidome. Would be shocking if Indiana State pulls off the win there. And certainly would knock Northern Iowa out of the playoff conversation, that's for sure. 0-0, our halftime score here for North Dakota State and Illinois State. They have shoveled the field. We'll see how long that works for them. We'll continue on and wrap up the halftime show here as we will send it back out to Normal, Illinois. That's still to come here on the Pro Seed Halftime Report. The Pro Seed Halftime Report rolls on, and 0-0 our score between North Dakota State and Illinois State. I think the first 1 to 3 might win this one. You get some points on the board, you're going to win. Let's send it back out to the winter wonderland that is Normal, Illinois for the second half.